Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I am your host, Jon Herold, and today is day one of the government shutdown. Guys, it happened. I was trying my best not to get on the rug, and I may have missed standing on the rug because is it even a rug? I don't even know how to define this. But the government is shut down. It is official. It's happened. We're going to probably talk quite a bit about that today. Do you feel different? Because I don't. If anything, I feel like better. I feel lighter. I now know that my government is not working for me, which is a good thing. At least part of it anyway. Some of it's still up and running, but there was another vote this morning to try to pass the Democrat bill. Didn't go through. We'll talk about it. Before we do, just want to check in on the chat, see how y'all are doing. Oh, my mom's in the chat. Patriot Mom ND, Jonathan. It's Mom, and I'm almost slightly in trouble when she uses my full name. If you want cookies, you have to come visit me. If you would have told me you had cookies, Mom, I would have been there. But yeah, I'll maybe stop by later today. It sounds really good. We got the regulars in the chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you are a lurker, please don't hesitate to pop into the chat and say hello. We got a great little community here. But let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll talk about all sorts of different stuff. A lot of it on the shutdown. Got some clips. We'll talk a little bit about the story of Israel paying influencers like $7,000 a post. It's absurd. But yeah. Anyway, let's get through our sponsors, and we'll get to some of these headlines. First up, we got Scales Gear. I love these guys. Their shirts are awesome. Scales Freedom Collection is where the open ocean meets the red, white, and blue seas we call home. Inspired by salt air, tight lines, and the rhythm of the tide and the waves, this collection channels the spirit of freedom through the lens of waterman's lifestyle. From long-sleeve performance shirts built for the elements to butter-soft tees and hats adorned with bold, ocean-inspired Americana prints, every piece is designed to keep you cool, protected, and connected to the water that sets us free. From weed lines to tree lines, we love our freedom. Shop now at badlandsmedia.tv/scales and enter the code Badlands at checkout for 20% off your next purchase. So thank you, Scales Gear. We're working on a few things with them. Going to do some more collaboration type stuff, some co-branded stuff. I think we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But next up, we got a little Conscious Strength, Jordan Sather's products, and I do love these things. I take it quite a bit. Maha yourself with supplements that don't suck from Conscious Strength. Founded by Badlands' very own Jordan Sather in 2019, Conscious Strength products are made in America and won't break your bank, unlike other online brands. And that's key, guys, because a lot of that stuff out there is expensive. It's necessary stuff. If you want to take care of yourself, you gotta feed your body the correct ingredients, the healthy ingredients. Sometimes comes at a premium. It doesn't with Conscious Strength. It's great products, great pricing. The lineup includes collagen for strengthening joints and hair, electrolytes to get rid of those cramps. The electrolytes taste great, by the way. Greens powder that tastes good and mixes easy. Shilajit gummies, methylene blue, zeolite, and so much more. Flip the finger to pharma, be your own doctor, and get supplements that you can trust from Conscious Strength. Go to badlandsmedia.tv/strength to shop now. One more time, that's badlandsmedia.tv/strength. The link should be in the description of this video. And then one more thing before we move along here, I want to talk about GART real quick because we got that coming up. We are now a month and 6 days away from GART in Cocoa Beach, Florida, November 6th through the 9th, and we have put our virtual tickets on sale. So right now, we have an early bird price going until October 15th. And so I think, and we've lowered the prices generally, but we're also doing a early bird little special for you guys. So if you know you can't attend, but you plan on watching GART, you can get it cheaper now than you can after the 15th. So badlandsmedia.tv/events. Make sure you guys check it out. And you guys will give my mom trouble in the chat. You know, she could drop those cookies off. Phil Scarborough, Tuesday's 53-47 rejection is the second time Republicans have voted down the Democratic stopgap. Check out QPost 2318. Explain that. Maybe we'll do that tonight on the Power Hour. Probably won't do that right now, but yeah, guys, the government has officially shut down. Pull this up. The Senate failed to pass the funding bill yesterday. Trump had that meeting we talked about that he's going to have with the party leadership, and he posted a few pictures on his True Social as well, which was great. The Trump 2028 had it right there at the forefront. You got this picture. He's like pointing and laughing at Jeffries, which I think is hysterical. I just wonder what he said and why he's doing it. Like in my head, like you could caption this, be like, look at that loser. I think it's great. And we got this one as well. People in the background. I mean, they're clearly not making any progress, which I'm definitely okay with. Yesterday, Russ Vought sent out a memorandum to the heads of executive departments and agencies. Dated September 30th, 2025. Appropriations provided under the full year Continuing Appropriations and Extensions Act of 2025 expire at 11:59 p.m. tonight. On September 19th, the House of Representatives passed H.R. 5371, a clean continuing resolution that would fund the government through November 21st. Unfortunately, Democrat senators are blocking passage of H.R. 5371 in the Senate due to Democrats' insane policy demands, which include $1 trillion in new spending. President Trump supports passage of H.R. 5371, but it is now clear that Democrats will prevent passage of this clean CR prior to 11:59 p.m. tonight and force a government shutdown. As such, affected agencies should now execute their plans for an orderly shutdown. It is unclear how long Democrats will maintain their untenable posture, making the duration of the shutdown difficult to predict. Regardless, employees should report to work for their next regularly scheduled tour of duty to undertake orderly shutdown activities. We will issue another memorandum indicating that government functions should resume once the president has signed a bill providing for appropriations. Agencies should continue to closely monitor developments, and OMB will provide further guidance as appropriate. We greatly appreciate your cooperation and the work you and your agencies do on behalf of the American people. So it's happened. And the White House is having a time with this too. They got a countdown clock. They had a countdown clock going down to the shutdown, and now they have a countdown clock going for how long they've kept the government shut down. And the whole thing is stupid. Both sides blaming each other. I think it's idiotic. It's all political theater. Everybody's trying to get what they want. There is a clean bill there. I haven't read the bill, but I'm sure it's not perfect either. They also have this on the website too, a whole bunch of just on loop clips of the Democrats in their own words talking about government shutdown. And so I'm going to play some of this.
This is money. They could even cause a downgrade to the nation's credit rating.
Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs could see benefits halted.
If this shutdown continues indefinitely, 39 million Americans will risk not having enough food. They will lose their SNAP benefits in February. So that means American children will be going to bed hungry. It's unacceptable.
The longer that this shutdown goes on, the more Americans that will be affected.
Critical services and our economy are being threatened with poison pill partisanship. Shutting down the government should not be a negotiating tactic.
Hostage taking is all they have left. A last gasp of those who cannot cope with the realities of our democracy.
And I'm pretty sure it just starts over.
To hold these people hostage?
Yes, I could just play it for the whole episode, but don't need to put you guys through that. But this just kind of proves it's all political theater. And I don't know, guys. Like, I want the government to stay shut down. The only thing I can think of that I was like, well, that's weird. Why would they not be funded? Is air traffic controllers. I feel like that's more of an essential thing, but they're saying it's not. But honestly, keep the entire government shut down, and then as necessary things come up, like things like, oh, well, maybe that should be funded. Do a single line item vote on just the one item. Like we can use this opportunity for many things, and I think Trump is going to. But one, Russ Vought, we've talked about this a couple times now. He can go through and not just furlough people, like people that are just sitting at home, and then when they come back and it's funded, they're going to get back pay for having not worked for a while, which, by the way, that should not be a thing. But let's do like actual reduction in forces, fire people, cut people that we don't need working. But then if there are places that we do need funding, what a great opportunity to do single line item votes on specific things. Like, okay, air traffic controllers, that's probably more of a necessary thing. And honestly, the only reason I'm thinking that is because I have a flight to Baltimore to get my girlfriend and come back like one day. Like, I just, it's a little concerning that those people aren't being paid, even though they're still working. But outside of that, I wouldn't care probably. But there's other things, and so single line item voting. Now's the opportunity to start doing that stuff. We have a poll out here, and this is also stupid. The blame game. Again, government shutdown live. Poll reveals who Americans blame as Vance warns travelers that air traffic controllers no longer getting paid. 38% blamed Republicans. 27% said they would blame the Democrats, and 31% pointed a finger at both parties equally. Fake poll. Polls are fake. The shutdown began. The Senate was set to vote again this morning. They did not pass it. I think I saw there was a clip out here somewhere that I had pulled up where they were like watching the floor live. Maybe it's on the Hill. Yeah. Yeah, they're doing speeches again. It's ridiculous. I have a couple clips though. JD Vance, quote unquote, went off on Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries this morning on Fox News.
What do Senate Democrats ask for? Well, initially, they said that they wanted to shut down the government because Donald Trump was a dictator. Okay, that's absurd. Then they said they wanted to shut down the government because they wanted hundreds of billions of dollars for healthcare benefits for illegal aliens. That, of course, is also absurd. And now they're saying they just want to work on ensuring that Americans have low-cost health care. Well, I agree with them. Of course, we all want to ensure that Americans have low-cost health care. So let's work together on that. You don't shut the government down. You don't take the government as a hostage because you want to engage in a negotiation about health care costs. Let's do that negotiation, but let's do it in the context of actually opening the government and ensuring those essential services are actually provided to the American people. What is Senate Democrats?
What's interesting, there's a comment in the chat from Rise of Tire. The smartest 1% actually wanted the shutdown. And I agree with it because a lot of people in this community are like celebrating it. Keep it shut down as long as you can. We don't care. We've been wanting this. We want to like default. We want shutdown. We want all the things. And here we have, Trump and Trump's administration and other people that we look to as like, especially Trump. He's constantly dictating the narrative, leading the narrative. He's constantly running psyops. If we're right about a lot of the things we believe in, then he wants the government shut down too. He wants to downsize and do all these different things. Yet they're all playing along like, oh yeah, it's the Democrats' fault. It's their fault because they want $1 trillion in illegal Medicare spending or whatever. They're taking part in the normie blame game, which is silly. On its face, it's silly. But whatever. There's that. We have this one from Speaker Johnson.
Chuck Schumer was in the Oval Office with me, 48 hours ago. We were there. The president, as a strong leader, he brought all of us in, all four leaders, Thune and Schumer and myself and Hakeem Jeffries. And the president said, make your case. What is it you want? And Chuck Schumer repeated in that meeting what he put on paper. The counter proposal that he filed, everyone can go read it for themselves, would add $1.5 trillion in new spending on a 7-week stopgap measure. We're not doing that. He wants to give health care to illegal aliens again. We're not doing that. He wanted to claw back $50 billion that our Republican Big Beautiful Bill put in to prop up rural hospitals. Now, people say, why would he do that? I thought he was for health care. Well, a lot of those rural hospitals, most of them are in red states. So I don't know. I don't know what his motivation is, but we can't do it. Chuck Schumer.
The one thing the Democrats have going for them in terms of the blame game is it's Republican majority House, but this is the one tool they have, right? The one thing they can do is shut down the government by not passing the bill. And, we could potentially see a longer shutdown here. I kind of hope we do. The record is 35 days, but it's not going to affect us. I really don't think it is. It didn't Trump's first term. There were 3 shutdowns in Trump's first term. Did you guys know that? There were actually 3 shutdowns. I remember the one in 2018, the longer one. And the only reason I remember it is because it like lasted a while. That might even have been the record in terms of length. But it's definitely the longest we've had recently. That was over the border wall. Yeah, it was the longest ever. It was December 22nd, 2018 through January 25th of 2019. But he also had one in February of 2018, and it was only a couple hours, but it was because of Rand Paul and some protest he was doing. And there's also another one in January of 2018, and it was the DACA fight, and that was 3 days. So all we're waiting for is them to come to some sort of agreement and pass a bill. And where it stands right now is the Republicans and Trump are saying, we've put this bill forth. This is the bill we want. And we're not budging from that. And the Democrats are here like, this is the bill we want. We want all this funding. This is where we're at. And neither side appears to say they're going to budge. And honestly, if the government is shut down until next freaking year, until the midterms, until 2028, I could care less. People are going to realize that the government being shut down does not affect your day-to-day. It doesn't affect you at all. At least not the stuff shut down now. I mean, there are things that are still working because they're funded in HR 1 and other bills, like the annual appropriation stuff that is automatic. There are things going there that I still think should be shut down. There are other things working that should be shut down, in my opinion. So yeah, that's right. I don't think I have any other stories. Oh, this is kind of funny.
Make him call it.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line.
Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions. We look forward to hearing from you again very soon. And in the meantime, please know President Trump will never stop fighting for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Joey and Chris, hi, John. Keep hearing stuff about this bill and don't know if it's true. Did you read the bill? I don't know which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the Democrat one, I haven't. Actually, I haven't read the one that the Republicans passed either that gets us through November or into November. I'm not going to read the Democrat one. At least I don't plan to, because I don't think it's going to be passed anyway. So I don't think it's worth an investment of like reading something that's not going to get passed and me reading it and finding things and like showing like, hey, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't plan on it. But anyway, we got another couple Truth Social posts from Trump that I think are worth digging into. This one is first. Posted this morning. Trade deficit plummets 42.9% in second quarter under Trump's reciprocal tariffs. Think we'll ever get to a trade surplus? Let me look at this quick. United States trade deficit. It was 78.3 billion in July. Exports reached 280 billion while imports climbed to 358 billion. That was back in July. So I wonder what's that. I'd love to get to surplus. That'd be baller. He also posted this, and this was from Modi. We welcome President Donald J. Trump's announcement of a comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict. Provides a viable pathway to long-term and sustainable peace, security, and development for the Palestinian and Israeli people, as also for the larger West Asian region. We hope that all concerned will come together behind President Trump's initiative and support this effort to end the conflict and secure peace. We hope that as well. So, by the way, there's no update on the Doge website. But there's a couple interesting things on the presidential website today. I'll start with this one first. Unlocking cures for pediatric cancer with artificial intelligence. I mean, obviously this is good. You know, when it comes to people with cancer, or especially when it gets to the point of like you don't have much time left, you're kind of out of options. There's lots of experimental treatments that people can use or look to that a lot of times like either insurance won't cover it or their doctors won't be allowed to do it because it hasn't been approved. And in Trump's first term, he kind of cut the red tape on that, which I think was a great move. Now this one, it's using more like AI to help specifically hone in on specific treatments that will work for specific people. And I think there's even a quote in here. AI can be used to build upon this data initiative to produce meaningful solutions to pediatric, adolescent, and young adulthood cancer. This application of AI has the potential to transform the nation's current care and research approach for pediatric cancer, as well as our healthcare and research infrastructure more broadly. Through use of the rich and multimodal data secured with appropriate individual privacy protections, and that's my big concern, is like, are they going to be trying to get everybody's DNA to find specific cancer treatments? I mean, if you have cancer and that's what you need, I think that's one thing, and you consent to doing it. To develop early and superior diagnostics, identify cures and optimize treatments, and advance medicine that will save lives. For too long, we've watched our children and families battle cancer and its long-term chronic effects. So again, AI's obviously where Trump is putting a lot of the investment. He's allowing the AI to like basically take over the government. Every single AI known to man is allowed to be used by government officials right now, or at least feels that way. So I'm definitely not against this move, like, barring any privacy concerns or constitutional rights, that type of stuff. But the other interesting thing on the website, and I want to show you this. Let me go to where's that? Presidential actions. Okay, here. So this was today. And yesterday we talked about adjusting imports of lumber and their derivative products. Remember, yesterday was the 30th. We also talked about the advisory committees. The new one today was from the 30th. From yesterday was unlocking cures for pediatric cancer with artificial intelligence. And yesterday, by the way, is when Trump met with Bibi Netanyahu. But notice this one here, assuring the security of the state of Qatar, and the date of it is September 29th, 2025. That would have been Monday. And in my head, I was like, when did that pop in? Because I don't remember seeing that yesterday. I would have talked about it. And I even had to like go fact check myself. I thought I was taking crazy pills, but I went and looked. Did I say crazy peels? I meant crazy pills. I don't know if they have anything called crazy peels. But I went back and looked on the website yesterday. This is from yesterday's show, and it's not on there. Assuring the security of Qatar is not on the presidential website from yesterday, even though it was signed on the 29th, and yesterday was the 30th. So yesterday when Trump met with Bibi Netanyahu, and they had this whole meeting, they came out and, there's like, yeah, we won't do this again. We won't go after Qatar. We won't do any of the, here's the 20-point peace plan, all these things. Sometime between then and today, they published this on the website. And this is actually pretty interesting because I'm sure when Bibi Netanyahu got there, Trump's like, yeah, this is what I signed yesterday. And now do what you're going to do with Qatar again. Because remember, Hamas was there, we're told, during the previous round of negotiations. The people that were negotiating were in Qatar when Israel bombed them. They did let the United States know, but the United States had allegedly nothing to do with it. Who knows if any of that's true. But Trump said moving forward on Truth Social, and I pretty vividly remember saying this on this show back when Trump posted about it. He's like, yes, we were made aware of the attack on Qatar. I've called them, their leadership, and assured them that something like this will never, ever happen again. And I was like, well, what we just saw from Israel, you had no control over. At least that's the story you're telling us. They said they were going to do it. They gave you a heads up, but they did it without your input or permission, or, again, the story we're told. So how can you guarantee that moving forward, it's not going to happen again? Because we just witnessed them doing it, and you had no control, we're told, to stop it. Well, now this comes out. Over the years, the United States and the state of Qatar have been bound together by close cooperation, shared interests, and the close relationship between our armed forces. The state of Qatar has hosted United States forces, enabled critical security operations, and stood as a steadfast ally in the pursuit of peace, stability, and prosperity, both in the Middle East and abroad, including as a mediator that has assisted the United States' attempts to resolve significant regional and global conflicts. In recognition of this history, and in light of the continuing threats to the state of Qatar posed by foreign aggression, it is the policy of the United States to guarantee the security and territorial integrity of the state of Qatar against external attack. The United States shall regard any armed attack on the territory, sovereignty, or critical infrastructure of the state of Qatar as a threat to the peace and security of the United States. In the event of such an attack, the United States shall take all lawful and appropriate measures, including diplomatic, economic, and, if necessary, military, to defend the interests of the United States and the state of Qatar and to restore peace and stability. Secretary of War, in coordination with the Secretary of State and Director of National Intelligence, shall maintain joint contingency planning with the state of Qatar to ensure a rapid and coordinated response to any foreign aggression against the state of Qatar. This was done because of what Israel did. And now this is like Article 4 or 5 of NATO, where it's like attack against one of us is attack against us all. And this is also what Saudi Arabia just did with Pakistan, wasn't it? Like, yeah, any armed attack against Qatar we're going to consider that an attack against the United States. This is like a in your face to Bibi Netanyahu, in my opinion. And I know people have different opinions about Israel, and that's fine. And in my mind, I separate like the people in charge of Israel with the broader Israel. But this is huge. He signed it before Bibi Netanyahu got there. They didn't talk about it publicly until after he left. That is interesting. And then we have this story that came out yesterday. And this is something we already knew was going on, but to see it in writing and on paper and like some of the stuff to back it up makes it just that much more notable. Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post. That is insane money. Netanyahu referred this week to a community pushing out preferred messaging in U.S. media, and boy, are they making a pricely sum. Now, one of the biggest talking points, especially the last couple of weeks, I might have said this yesterday on the show too, a lot of people, Bibi Netanyahu and a lot of these people, I'm assuming getting paid by Israel, not all of them are, but a lot of them are, they're pushing this anti-Qatari rhetoric. It's like, oh, that's just a Qatari talking point. Oh, that's, they're just pushing the property. They're accusing other people of getting paid by Qatar. And who knows? Maybe that's true too. We don't have FAR registration documents proving that at this point. We do have it with these guys. I think there was, and I mentioned this yesterday too. Excuse me. Need a drink. We have, there was a Foreign Registration Act of somebody who got paid to line up an interview with Tucker. I don't think it's been made clear that they paid Tucker for the interview with the Qatari leader that they did a while ago. But there's a clear dedicated push from Israel to pay people to influence the narratives that are being discussed in this country. In a meeting dedicated to harnessing pro-Israel media energy on Friday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alluded to a cohort of Israel's influencers. We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers, I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance, to that community. They are very important. Being paid by Israel to post on social media is also very lucrative. According to previously unreported recent documents, these influencers are likely being paid around $7,000 per post on social media, such as TikTok and Instagram, on behalf of Israel. Bridge Partners is the group that's getting it. They received the invoices detailed a sum of $900,000 from June to end in November for about 14 to 18 influencers. They did the math on this. They got to, after like fees and all this other stuff, there's about $552,000 in this pool of money. And depending on how many posts that were in that time, anywhere from $6,000 up to over $7,000, $7,300. And I take huge issue with this for many reasons. And it's not just because Israel's doing it. They just happen to be the one that we have a story on right here. But how many times do we talk about us being in the middle of an information war, narrative warfare, regular warfare, 5th generation warfare, psyops, all these things? Like constantly, we're constantly talking about that. And everybody seems to acknowledge it, especially in this community. But we're constantly acknowledging, like, yeah, a lot of the warfare that's going on is at the narrative level. People are trying to dictate the flow of information. And when you have a foreign country paying American citizens to influence Americans' opinions on a certain topic, whatever the topic is, doesn't matter. That's an act of war in an information war. Like if it were, imagine it with the overt warfare, like traditional warfare, gunfighting. What you're having here is a foreign country paying United States citizens to fight on that foreign country's behalf against some of the citizens of America. Because again, the opinions they're trying to influence are those of United States citizens. They're trying to get Americans to support Israel and whatever their goals are. So again, you have a foreign country paying United States citizens to fight on their behalf, on that foreign country's behalf, against other citizens of the United States. By definition, that makes these influencers enemy combatants. And I know there are, like, at a normie level in the battle space, like, people won't acknowledge the information war one to begin with, and they definitely wouldn't get on board with, like, the enemy combatant label for social media influencers. But you guys here in this community who've been following us for a while and are at that intellectual level where you understand we're in an information war, when you see this happening, like, I view those influencers as enemy combatants. And that's kind of why we take such a hard stance against some of the other, like, Con Inc. influencers that we see out there. People that are taking money to post things. Like Badlands, we make money, but we do it through advertising. We have never, ever accepted money to say something. Does that make sense? Like, there's a distinct difference between, we're a business, we're trying to support the creators here, we sell products. If you guys want to buy those products, you can choose to do that. Nobody's forced to. You can donate to us on Rumble or the various platforms we have. You can become subscribers and support us directly. Badlands boosts. Rumble, by the way, if you use Apple Pay to leave a Rumble rant, Badlands only gets 50% of that. The hosts only get 50%. If you do it through the website on Rumble, it's or with your card, not Apple Pay, then it's 80%. Badlands boosts, it's not 100%. It's like 98, 99. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's only the credit card processing fee that is kept by Badlands. To pay that, the host gets 100% of the rest. But there's a complete and distinct difference between trying to run a legitimate business and selling advertising or whatever, and taking money to say something that you may not even believe in. And I know you guys in this audience recognize the difference in that. And I know you guys recognize that to me, this is an act of war, and it does not matter what country does it. This should be completely illegal. Whether it's Israel, whether it's Russia. And could you imagine if it was Russia or China? Like, when Russia spent $50,000 in Facebook ads, the Democrats went absolutely bonkers and said they interfered in the election. Like, what is this then? And it shouldn't just end at influencers. Like, not only should foreign countries be banned from paying influencers to say things that their country wants them to say, just so that long term they get more money from the United States. It should also, like, lobbying dollars should be banned too from any foreign country. Any foreign dollar coming into the United States that goes anywhere to either influence a vote or an opinion, a public opinion, to the benefit of that country. Any dollar coming to the United States that isn't from them just like buying a product or whatever should be completely banned. 100% outright. And I stand by that. And I feel like most of you guys do too. How do you silence speech? From First Amendment Mike. money is speech. Yes, but money is speech. But a foreign country giving money to dictate speech, that's different. And times are different too with this. Or okay, how about this? You know, if you want to say that, I can play with that argument, and I understand that argument. Like, okay, money is speech. You can spend your money where you want. You can do your money where you want. I think it's a little much more nefarious than that, and a little more convoluted. But if we're going to say, okay, well, yeah, Israel can do it. You know, they can spend money in the United States to influence posts, but every single dollar that gets spent has to be disclosed on who it went to and the message that was told. And the people that are doing the post need to advertise it as a paid promotion by the state of Israel. Because that's the key here. These people are passing it off as if it's their own opinion. And politicians too. That's a whole nother animal. But they're out there almost basically doing the same thing. Like, I don't even know if we can, if we're able to figure out how much money some of these foreign countries, not just Israel, they're just the hot topic right now with everything that's going on. But quantifying how much foreign money comes into the United States to alter opinions or votes, I think it would blow some people's minds. And that's not even to mention like the United States doing it. I think anybody giving money to anybody to have them say something to influence an opinion, I think that needs to be disclosed as a paid promotion. But that's just me. And Ash says foreign propaganda is not protected speech in America. Amen. Yeah, so this is not going to end well, I don't think. And with Trump's move about with the state of Qatar, like an attack on them is attack on us, I wish the Trump administration would more directly acknowledge the type of war we're in. And I know Trump knows it because he said it multiple times. Like I play that clip so often of, you know, these persecutions are being done by the same weaponized agencies that for 7 years have been conducting illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people. Like, he knows what we're talking about. He knows this. In that context, he was talking about our own government and our own federal, you know, agencies, intelligence agencies doing that against the American people. But that a foreign country doing it makes it worse. Well, maybe not worse, but it's no different. It's not any better. We need to combat that stuff. And the first thing you got to do to combat it is to acknowledge it, at least point it out, talk about it. Then you can ban it, and then see what happens after that. Anyway, that might be all I have to say on that. RT Joan, what propaganda? It doesn't matter what it is. If you're being paid to say something by a foreign country, like by definition, that's propaganda. You're putting forth propaganda from that country. Somebody is paying you to say something. That is propaganda. Whether it's true or not, I don't think really matters. Payment for speech is not free speech. It's contractual speech. See? Yeah, and this is the thing with Badlands. Nobody on Badlands has ever been told what they can or can't say. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. I have told people like, hey, I know a lot of people are attacking Badlands right now, but for legal reasons, we cannot respond. So just please don't engage. I've said that before, but I've never told anybody what opinion they can or can't say. It's completely different. They make money from rev share pools and everything, but they are not paid to say something or not to say something. True Deplore, what Netanyahu said to that group of influencers sounded like he was buying TikTok. Ash, okay, but salary is considered payment. Isn't it the same thing? Well, and that's kind of the beautiful thing about Badlands too, is like so many different people have completely opposite, like they're on completely opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of opinions on things. And that's why we disagree, and why disagreement is beautiful. Yeah, everybody is allowed to say whatever they believe, whenever they want to believe it, and whenever they want to say it. They don't get paid specifically to say those things. Okay, but anyway, we'll move on from this. Nice to see the chat all hot and bothered, though. I like that. I like when the chat gets dicey and spicy. Let's see here. Did we talk about the J6 stuff yesterday? I think we did. The pipe bombs, they found new evidence. Trying to unravel the mysteries of J6. So super mysterious, guys. Yeah, I think I'm going to skip that. Bitcoin is up, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. Bitcoin is climbing back up. It's always good. There was a post, I think it was, let me find this. I think G Money shared it. But apparently Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has retweeted, yeah, here we go. Seems noteworthy that the current Trump-appointed Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, just reposted Senator Loomis about America becoming the world's Bitcoin superpower. And this is the post from Cynthia Loomis. Trump administration's Treasury just delivered for American innovation, fixing the CAMT problem that threatened unrealized gains of Bitcoin. This leadership clears the way for the U.S. to become the world's Bitcoin superpower. Thank you, U.S. Treasury and real Donald Trump. Don't forget, guys, to get your Bitcoin if you haven't. $10 a month is all you need to do. And you probably even do less than that. But throw some in there. You're going to catch it while it's up, catch it while it's down. But long term, I think it is going to continue to go up. The way I was described it, and this was actually something I was described way back in the day with the stock market. And it's like you're on an escalator with a yo-yo, and it's always going to kind of steadily go up, but there might be dips up and down on the way. It's Bitcoin too. I'd encourage you to do it. Badlandsmedia.tv/river. But let's keep going. Yeah, there was nothing really on CNBC this morning that I wanted to discuss, except for Supreme Court is going to let Fed Governor Lisa Cook keep her job pending the oral arguments in her case. Very curious and very much looking forward to this case coming before the Supreme Court. Because again, it's another one of those things where does Trump have the authority to do his job or not? And I can't think of a time yet where the Supreme Court has been like, no, Trump, you can't do that. I don't think we've had any losses at the Supreme Court in a while. Silver's getting close to double what it was 2 years ago, too, says Jana LN. That's cool. Gold and silver outperforming Bitcoin. Everything's up right now. I would just, not financial advice. I would get your, if you have the opportunity to, I would potentially get out of the stock market and into some gold and silver, because if we're right about some of these things where, you know, there needs to be some sort of correction, I can't imagine that's going to do good for the stock market. But again, I may not know what I'm talking about, but I do know with badlandsgold.com, you can roll over your 401ks and whatnot into gold and silver. I would encourage you to at least look into it and see what it entails, because it might just be the right thing for you. I had a small one, like an old 401k that I did that with, and it was a painless process. Fill out a couple forms and you're good to go. And now it's in real gold and silver. It's awesome. Oh shoot. I think we talked about this yesterday too. Man, everything is just like in my mind is kind of a blur, because a lot of these stories are like blending together and they're the reruns and everything. But the Biden TSAs and DHS placed mask mandate opponents, January 6 protesters on federal watch lists. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. We did talk about that yesterday, so I'm not going to do that again. But that's another, it's another great story that's coming back up to the forefront, where we're getting a rerun. And it's like every couple of weeks, every month, barring the big mass trauma event in the middle, they'll pop a refresher in the story, like, oh, new update. And these are all narratives that at some point need some form of resolution and conclusion to them, because the story we're told about it does not make sense. The J6 is a big one. COVID, Spygate. I mean, all the things we always talk about. Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, there's not a whole bunch of like big major news stories. I thought this was an interesting one to put out. This was PBS that put it out. Their funding got cut, didn't they? Weren't they publicly funded and now they're not, or government funded? But the story they're running with here, this Matt Loffman guy, is there's a growing number of Americans who think violence might be necessary to get the country back on track. This is some narrative seeding right here. They want people to think like, well, maybe the only way to fix things is to, some sort of violent revolution. And I'm not sure I agree with that, guys. So, but it's notable that a leftist news rag here is putting this forth. Nearly a third of Americans, 30%, say people may have to resort to violence in order to get the country back on track, according to a PBS NPR Marist poll. So they went out there and ran a poll like, hey, how many people think, even though polls are fake, how many people think we need to violently have some sort of revolution in this country? It's a sharp rise from 18 months ago when only 19% of Americans said the same thing. And notice 18 months ago, who was in office back then? We're told Biden. Whether you fully believe that is a separate thing. But Republicans were the ones that weren't in office. And now that Republicans are back in office, all of a sudden it's up 11% to 30%. So which party is the party of violence? Kind of debunks that whole narrative. But anyway, the belief that violence may be the answer has grown among Republicans and independents, up 3 and 7 percentage points, which again makes zero sense when they're the party in power. Anyway, but the largest increase has been among Democrats. Now 28% of Democrats share that view, up 16 points. Wow. It's crazy. Anyway, just keep your eyes on that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get more rhetoric along those lines as oh no, wait, did they actually do this? ABC News had to put a thing on here where they said this was AI generated. You freaking idiots. Of course it was. This is kind of based. Senator Rick Scott, take a listen.
If you didn't do your job in business, you didn't get paid. You don't show up and do your job, you don't get paid. Why are we getting paid? We shouldn't get paid if we don't do our job.
Before I even let this continue, this is something I've said before, except it wasn't just during a shutdown. It was if you have a job in business and you don't make a profit, your business goes bankrupt and you lose your job and you don't get paid. So my argument is if you can't run a balanced freaking budget, you should not be paid as an elected official. And that should be at state level, federal level, county level, whatever. If you run a deficit, period, as a country or a government, whatever level you're at, you should not be paid. And that should be, you should be fired. And that should be an automatic, like you're done. For the entire everybody. If you cannot come up with a budget that runs a surplus, you're done. That would get rid of the term limit stuff. The second you make a political move that ends up putting us at a deficit, you go bankrupt, you're done. Maybe that's what we do. Anyway, we'll listen to more of this.
We need to figure out how to work together to get our budgets done. It's as simple as that.
So you're going to offer legislation to not get paid during shutdowns?
Absolutely. I already have a bill. We've got a bill that we don't get paid during the shutdown. Ron Johnson's got a bill that will never have shutdowns. That should pass also. But on top of that, what are the Democrats doing? This is a clean resolution. All we're doing is keeping the funding. Actually, the funding is too high. It's still the Biden funding. But I don't want to shut down government, so I support it. But the Democrats, they want to shut down for whatever reason. How is this good for the country? Nobody wins with a shutdown.
First man, Mike, John, did you see the CNN Schumer segment when he was asked about the Schumer shutdown? Priceless. I did not see that, but I'm going to look that up. Schumer shutdown. You said it was CNN? Okay, right there.
Every Republican who's gone on TV the last 12 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
It's a kind of funny joke. Maybe it did include audio on Capitol Hill. We could only wish. We could only be so lucky. Yeah, that's a great clip. Thank you for pointing me that direction, First Amendment Mike. We also got this Education Department takes action on. I didn't really finish my commentary on this guy. Again, as I said, I don't hate this at all. I mean, I don't think they should be paid, period. But yeah, let's actually see a bill where during the shutdown they don't get paid. That'd be cool. And then take it a step further and you don't get paid if you don't run a surplus. The Education Department takes action on report Virginia high school worker helped student get abortion. Glenn Youngkin has directed state police to investigate the claims, and Louisiana GOP Senator Bill Cassidy has demanded the school district turn over related materials by Monday. They're taking enforcement action into reports from a Virginia school that some worker there, social worker, helped a student get an abortion without informing her parents. Can you imagine? I would sue the shit out of everybody and press criminal charges against this social worker. And I think there's a spelling here. I think this should be social worker. A Virginia high school social work helped. It should be worker. But yeah, that's crazy. That whole ideology. Like, what could go through somebody's mind? Like, what could their mindset be in the thought process? It's like, yeah, I'll help you, and let's not tell your parents. That's totally okay. Like, what? It's insanity. Is there another hurricane in North Carolina? Multiple North Carolina homes crumble into ocean as Hurricane Humberto Imelda roared off Atlantic shore. Wow. Prayers to you guys out that way. It's a bummer. Okay, but other than that, that might be all I got for today. Oh, and it's 12:52 anyway, so that's perfect. I go into the shows and I never know like how long my rants are gonna go, and if I'm gonna rant, and some things get me ranting and other things don't. But I'm in a groove lately, timing it well. But we do have a couple rants here. L Phillips says, "Happy Government Shutdown Day." That is awesome. Happy Government Shutdown Day to you as well. Should be a national holiday. Babbage 3, friendly reminder to turn your ghost calendars to October. Hell yeah. And also, shout out to all you guys over on YouTube that are watching. We got about 53 of you over there. Appreciate you. Hit that like if you don't mind. And those watching on Rumble, don't be a stranger over there. Go over there, hit the thumbs up. Never know when they might let us catapult a little higher in the metrics and whatnot. Joey and Chris set for $10 says, thanks. The 24-page bill, heard it's an old Biden bill. Wouldn't want to read it either. Sounds boring. It's only 24 pages. I can get through that in like 25 minutes. Maybe I'll check it out. The bills are like, they're not very they're not very long. Is it senate.gov? Let's see here. You guys can watch me do this. Recent roll call votes. Let's do floor activity. I think it was this one. Let's check it out as a PDF. Oh, this says 94 pages. Whatever. I'll figure that out later. I'm not going to make you guys suffer through me searching for that. Alpha Warrior Show. $2. They had a good show last night. I caught a little bit of it at the beginning. Then I had to tune out. But he says, just ordered a bunch of yarmulkes for Badlands. I want me some of them shekels. Don't judge me, Felicia. And that's the thing we've said before. Like, if this was back when the Tim Pool shit went down, and it came out that that Tenet Media Group received like $20 million from Russia or whatever. It's like, Russia, like, you can pay us. We're doing the propaganda for you. We're taking the pro-Russia stance, but that's just because of our research and stuff. You know, you can pay us, but we'll never be like told what to say. But hey, you can support us if you'd like. 12 Indie Boy says, I guess for $5, I guess this rant is 20% for the free speech platform and 80% because of the rapid fire news you bring us. Thanks. Can't wait for Cocoa Beach. Can't wait either, man. Good to see you guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Let's see what else I got. Alisi, thanks for going through the docs and sharing the tidbits with us. You are welcome. I enjoy it. But all right. Other than that, I think that's good. I will see you guys tonight on the Power Hour. Me and Bernie Bright, we should have a pretty good show lined up for you. So make sure you tune into that, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Got a whole lot of stuff going on today at Badlands. We have Altered State will be on tonight, Shipwreck Show, and yeah, then Power Hour. Breaking History was live before this. There's White House press briefing going on, live coverage of that. So hit that thumbs up. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you tonight, and then we'll also see you back here again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on the Daily Herald. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Extra, extra, read all about it. started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.